I'm Ryan Baxter. I'm an Assistant Vice President at the Real Estate Board of New York. I am also the Real Estate Liaison for MetaProp NYC. We're, again, thrilled to have you. It is my privilege to introduce the founder of MetaProp NYC. He has experience making real estate successful and also making tech companies successful. And he had the vision to bring them both together into New York City's first real estate tech accelerator. I am thrilled because he is the reason we are all here. Please join me in welcoming Aaron Block.
Thank you, Ryan. And a round of applause for Ryan, without whom we would have no Real Estate Tech Expo this year. And for our gracious host, the Real Estate Board of New York. Thank you very much for hosting and supporting New York City Real Estate Tech Expo. New York City Real Estate Tech Expo is one of the introductory events leading up to New York City Real Estate Tech Week, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a second. We're really excited for the second annual New York City Real Estate Tech Week. We are from MetaProp NYC. I have a couple of partners and folks here who work with us, and we are the global real estate technology nexus. And what that means is we take a set of disparate stakeholders in the real estate technology environment. Those would be investors in real estate technology companies, that would be media, that would be corporate users of real estate technology, and of course the startup community, and we bring everybody together every year. We do three things really well. Number one, we have a venture capital fund. We invest in early stage real estate technology businesses. We've invested collectively in over 50 real estate technologies over the last 3 years. We're the number one seed investor in the space. Number two, we run the number one real estate technology accelerator program, which is essentially a boot camp for new real estate technology companies. We've got a couple of graduates of our 2015 program presenting and sharing their ideas here today with the community, and we're really excited about that. And number three, we have what's called MetaProp Advisors, where we fill in the gaps in the real estate tech community for things that are needed in the corporates and in the investor community, which for us primarily means media strategy and public relations. It means business development, it means recruiting, helping other companies grow really quickly. Growth is a big part of what we talk about in our world, and moving New York City forward as the center of real estate technology is really about growth. It's about growing the community. It's about getting great examples of technologies and helping them grow. And one thing you can do to really impact this is, if you're active in social media on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, if you can use the hashtag RETech, hashtag RETECH today, that would really do a lot to help forward real estate technology here in New York. A couple of things that we're really excited to share this year that I think are important for you to hear. We are going to start publishing, in partnership hopefully with the Real Estate Board of New York and a couple of others, some thought leadership pieces on research and statistics surrounding real estate technology, both in New York and in the diaspora. We're going to be participating in over 30 events this year, some like this, some during New York City Real Estate Tech Week in October. We're going to be finally bringing the best of the international community here to New York, quite similar to the way we did last year, helping create the New York City real estate tech community. So believe it or not, I was talking to Kate and Dimitro from the New York City Economic Development Corporation. There are a number of other cities in the world who are also focusing on real estate technology, of course, none even close to New York City. We're all working collectively together to ensure that New York City maintains its lead in real estate technology and increases the size of that lead vis-a-vis the international community. So that's a really exciting thing that's happening this year, all of the stars aligning to point a spotlight here on New York City. Without further ado, we're going to jump into the program today. We have an all-day program, so feel free to make yourselves comfortable with food and drink. Our first featured speaker here today, we're very proud, is Kate Rice from the New York City Economic Development Corporation. Kate is charged with using the city's assets to drive growth, create jobs, and improve quality of life for all of our citizens. She's the Senior Vice President in the Center for Economic Transformation, which oversees almost 100 initiatives that support entrepreneurship across the entire city. And she'll be updating us on one of the New York City Economic Development Corporation's largest initiatives in applied sciences, New York City. Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Kate Rice from the EDC.
Thanks very much, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron, and good morning, everyone. I'm really delighted to be here at the second annual Real Estate Tech Expo. I was here this time last year to help Aaron kick this off, and we're really delighted to see this continuing, looking ahead to Real Estate Tech Week in the fall, and continued partnership with REVNY and MetaProp on really exploring what are the innovations in real estate tech in New York City. My name is Kate Daly. I'm with the New York City Economic Development Corporation, and I'm so glad that we can all come together today for this day of learning and convening. The New York City Economic Development Corporation is the city's primary vehicle for advancing inclusive innovation and economic development. We seek to create quality career pathways in resilient, dynamic neighborhoods in all 5 boroughs in New York City. And I'd like to share some of our work today on the tech ecosystem, how we got to where we are, what's happening next, and what we really see ahead of us in the future. It's obvious to all of us that technology is playing a much bigger and more vital role in every aspect of the development of our city. In 2008, after Lehman Brothers collapsed, it was clear to us in city government that we needed to establish a more diversified economy for our city and a more resilient economy. And we implemented many programs throughout the past few years to address this. We talked to hundreds of business leaders in multiple sectors to really identify what was needed. And one of the main things that we heard at that time was that what New York City needed for the future was engineering talent. And so we developed the Applied Sciences Initiative that Aaron referred to. This is a series of 5 university partnerships anchored by the Cornell Tech campus at Roosevelt Island, with a goal to double the number of engineers in the city in less than 1 generation. The 4 other partnerships in the Applied Sciences Network include NYU's Center for Urban Science and Progress, which focuses on urban innovation and resiliency, the Mount Sinai Institute of Technology, which emphasizes biotechnology, the Carnegie Mellon Steiner Studios Integrative Media Program, which focuses on digital media, and Columbia University's Institute of Data Sciences. It's a powerful foundation that the city is building off of with the forthcoming Innovation Hub at Governor's Island, which will become a 365-day-a-year destination that unites entrepreneurs, inventors, scholars, and educational institutions. Government, as we all would agree, certainly can't pick winners in the economy, but we all have to come to terms with the fact that technology is reshaping every traditional industry across multiple sectors. And in city government, we're adapting to that reality and working to make sure that our economy can benefit from this disruption that we're seeing across multiple sectors. In this administration, we understand that one of our greatest strengths as a city is our diversity. In addition to the fact that 6 out of 10 New Yorkers was born abroad or has a parent who was born abroad, the 5 boroughs call every single industry and sector home, whether it's finance, media, fashion, healthcare, biotech, or manufacturing. And that diversity is exactly where our city adds value to technology. Technology in New York is, of course, not a vertical, but a horizontal across multiple industries. And the collisions that take place across these sectors in the very dense hubs throughout our city is what makes New York City's tech ecosystem the world's best. Not that I'm biased in saying that. It's this cross-pollination that makes New York City the global capital of what we're all calling hyphen tech. Finance tech, media tech, biotech, and technology-driven innovations in all of the other industries throughout the 5 boroughs, including, of course, most important for us here today, real estate tech. And at EDC, we're working hard to develop strategies to encourage important tech innovations across all of these anchor and emerging legacy sectors. From traditional to cutting edge, the creative economy has deep roots in New York City. 1 out of every 10 jobs in America's creative sector falls within the 5 boroughs of New York, even though we're home to only 3% of the country's total workforce. Over the last decade alone, employment in the creative industries grew by 15% to a total of 300,000 jobs, or 7% of New York City's workforce, in areas like recording, broadcasting, music and theater production, and advertising. We've even surpassed Los Angeles to become the largest music cluster in the United States. And of course, the internet continues to change how we produce and consume creative products the world over. Whether news apps, social networking, or video streaming, media today is indistinguishable from tech. Through the New York City Media Lab, the city is helping to incubate the next generation of visual technologies, whether it's virtual reality, data visualization, or user experience. And this center builds on the Carnegie Mellon Steiner Studio integrative media programs, that's a mouthful for all of you who are familiar with that program, focus on innovation across the areas of film, gaming, social media, interactive computing, and design. A second area where we're fostering the growth of a new generation of tech applications is with industrial and manufacturing, one of our, of course, core anchor institutions within New York City. These are the sectors in which New Yorkers produce, repair, and transport products, services that are vital to the functioning of our city, that employ New Yorkers of all backgrounds and skill levels, and of course ignite innovation. Around the world, new forms of production technology, whether that's 3D printing, robotics, or computer-controlled machines, are increasing the efficiency of production, making producers more competitive, and creating demand for skilled production jobs. But many firms in New York City do not have the tools that they need to realize the full potential of the emerging technologies within this industry. And so one of EDC's newest initiatives was launched to address this challenge to the production economy, and that is FutureWorks. It's a network for advanced manufacturing resources throughout the city. We help current manufacturers adopt new technologies so that they can take advantage of the tools to enhance their businesses. And it also gives new businesses services, grants, and training, and a network of affordable workspaces to provide them with high-end equipment that it would be too expensive for them to purchase on their own. These sites will be citywide, but there will be a central hub that will be centered at the Brooklyn Army Terminal in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, and that will be EDC's Advanced Manufacturing Center. We also see tremendous opportunities for tech to address the challenges that we as a city face in sustainability, resiliency, and the growth of green energy technologies. A few years ago, we partnered with NYU to develop the Urban Future Lab, which is an urban tech incubator that nurtures path-breaking companies that are exploring issues within clean tech resiliency and smart cities, helping to strengthen the resiliency and quality of life in New York City, while moving us closer to the mayor's target of reducing our city's emissions 80% by 2050. Last month, we built on this foundation by announcing Urban Tech NYC, a new initiative and a series of programs to help innovators address New York City's urban management challenges such as these. In partnership with New Lab and Grand Central Tech, we committed more than $7 million to create 2 urban technology growth hubs. These are step-out spaces for growth stage companies who may have been in an incubator and now need to expand their production, their staffing, and the kinds of tools that they need to scale their businesses. We've partnered with New Lab in the Brooklyn Navy Yard and with Grand Central Tech in Manhattan on these hubs that will open this summer. They'll offer access to prototyping and testing equipment, local training programs, sector-specific business workshops, and mentorship. And Urban Tech NYC will also provide opportunities for companies to pilot their technologies across the city. Even as we build upon the role of tech in our creative industries, in our production economy, and in sustainability, we're also exploring new ways to support the health tech and finance tech sectors. New York City is already the largest capital of healthcare and finance, and we can also be the world's smartest one. We've pioneered a few major interventions to develop some of the software for these hyphen sectors and strengthen New York City's competitive position globally. The first is a series of entrepreneurship fellowships like Venture Fellows and GenTech, which in tandem with the city's tech talent pipeline are working to strengthen the skill base for talent here in New York City and making sure that all New Yorkers have access to 21st century tech jobs. Another is tech competitions. The most well-known of these, which I hope you've all heard of, is Big Apps, our annual competition, which has grown to be the largest civic innovation competition in the United States. We've worked to harmonize the Big Apps program with the mayor's strategic blueprint for One NYC, with winners focusing on the challenges of affordable housing, achieving zero waste, connected cities, and civic engagement. And of course, we all know that commercial corridors need fast and reliable broadband, something that we need to scale in the city and to reach more of the digital deserts and address the digital divide that is currently existent within the city. And this is essential as a precursor to supporting innovation throughout the 5 boroughs. Last year, EDC launched our Connect IBZ program, which is a $5.3 million public-private partnership to develop high-speed internet in industrial areas in New York City that had been digital deserts. We'll be using that program as a model to make sure that when we enhance commercial office space around the city, that it has the 21st century infrastructure that it needs. All of these efforts continue to pay off. New York City's tech ecosystem has become the fastest growing in the world. An Accenture report issued last year cited government leadership in New York as the primary reason that it named New York City the top city in the world for technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We are now the second largest recipient of venture capital in the country. I won't name the first largest recipient here. Broadly defined, nearly 300,000 New Yorkers work in the tech ecosystem, with employment growing faster at 7.6% each year than in almost any other sector. We've seen more than $7.3 billion of venture capital flowing into the New York City area over the last 4 quarters alone, contributing to what is already a $125 billion tech economy. We've clearly got strong fundamentals, but there's certainly more to be done. And we're building on this foundation to ensure that New York becomes absolutely the best tech ecosystem that it can be. And that's why Mayor de Blasio has hired the city's first chief technology officer, my colleague Minerva Tantoko, and he launched Lync NYC, a program to repurpose our network of payphones to provide free public Wi-Fi throughout the 5 boroughs. That's why we launched Digital.NYC, the single one-stop shop online for all things tech and startup in the 5 boroughs. But we all know that there's still much more for us to do. And one of the biggest challenges to our tech sector, but also to every aspect of life in New York City, is our crisis of real estate and housing. New Yorkers in all 5 boroughs are having a harder and harder time finding affordable places to live in what was already a tough town. Businesses and entrepreneurs are finding it difficult to get the exact type of workspaces they need, whether for size, amenity, or price. And the challenges of constructing in a dense market like New York City are getting even harder. There's a real need for innovation in the real estate tech sector in New York City, and that's why we're all here today. The de Blasio administration is, of course, prioritizing the development and preservation of affordable housing with a goal of preserving and building 200,000 units over the next 10 years. But we also have to make sure that our commercial sector has the space it needs, because no housing is affordable without a job. And that's why at EDC, we've helped to launch a network of 17 incubators across the 5 boroughs. Business incubators provide affordable working space to entrepreneurs, as well as shared and collaborative environments that provide business connections that young companies need to excel. Our network of 17 incubators around the city focus on technology, culinary arts, bioscience, advanced manufacturing, media and the arts, and clean energy and resiliency technology. That amounts to more than 160,000 square feet of affordable space in all 5 boroughs. The incubators we've launched currently support more than 800 companies and 1,300 jobs, and we continue to expand our network. More than 180 companies have graduated from these incubators, and companies have raised to date more than $170 million. And our efforts, of course, don't end with incubators. A few months ago, we released the results of a study that showed that market demand for new commercial space could reach as high as 60 million square feet over the next 10 years. We will use every tool at our disposal to meet that demand, working with the private sector, leveraging city-owned assets, investing city capital, and working with our colleagues at other agencies to make sure that commercial space is considered when developing new developments around the city. It will take comprehensive neighborhood planning, like the work with our city partners to bring state-of-the-art high-rise commercial buildings to the 73-block area of Grand Central Station through the East Midtown rezoning, along with the new neighborhood at Hudson Yards and oncoming office space at the World Trade Center. These types of area-wide projects can generate over 20 million additional square feet of space. But it will also take a steady stream of more targeted projects across the 5 boroughs, looking at every possible building or parcel with an eye to its commercial potential. In the development of this space, we're seeing the creation of an all-new tech sector, and of course that's real estate tech. It's been a real pleasure for us at EDC and in city government to be partnering with groups like MetaProp to nurture the real estate sector. We're particularly thrilled that EDC has a city official in residence role in the Accelerator's office to help monitor and support tech's role in solving real estate needs, such as improving affordable housing for New Yorkers. Working with organizations like MetaProp, we're not just making sure that tech finds the real estate it needs, but that real estate finds the tech that it needs. Over the course of the 3-month accelerator, the accepted companies received training and mentorship from some of the city's brightest and best in the tech and real estate worlds. From revamping radiators with Radiator Labs, the founder of which is here today. I encourage you to talk to him about the work that he's doing to keep New Yorkers warm, to smart climate control, to making a one-stop shop for background checks for tenants, and to getting real-time home awareness, in addition to the virtual reality applications that I'm sure we've all seen. There's a tremendous need for the work that you're all doing, and we're very excited that the innovations will result in the coming months and years. As we continue to develop the next phase of our robust and growing tech ecosystem, we'll look forward to working with all of you to make sure that the biggest real estate capital in the world is also the smartest real estate capital. Thanks very much.